So I saw this watch on Amazon by Smith & Wesson, and I was like, the gun company? Apparently they make watches. This is their military watch. The back says a little about it. Just, they've been around since the 1800s. Many law enforcement and military people use them. And I just thought, let's check this out. This thing was $30, and interestingly enough, it comes with two extra bands here, as you can see. A nice tan-colored one and a black one. The one on the watch itself is like military green. So let's take a closer look at this watch and see, is it worth $30? And does Smith & Wesson make good watches? So initial impressions are it's a fairly basic but nice looking military style field watch. I don't think there's anything that right out of the box really jumps out to me as strange. If you take some of the close-up shots that I had in the beginning, and I'll put another one here, you could tell that the printing on the face isn't overwhelmingly fantastic, but this is a $30 watch. I'm not really expecting that. Let's jump in here a little closer. You can see that it's not a bad-looking watch. You have the hour markers around the outside. Inside of that, you have the 24-hour sub-markers, and then around the outside of the main hour markers, you got the second markers. It's a quartz watch. It's got a nice little red tip there on the second hand. There's nothing about the initial look of this watch that I find odd. The case itself, it's not brushed, it's not polished, it's got kind of like a rough machined finish. I'll put a close-up of that here. I don't even know the best way to describe it, but it's soft to touch. Kind of. You could feel a little bit, maybe it's like very, very fine sand, but I like it. It's almost like those like PVD coatings or whatever they put on some of the fancier watches that people want that matte look to. But it's nice. The crown does not screw down. I don't recommend getting this wet. I believe it says that it has a 30-meter water resistance. Let me double check for you guys quick here. Yeah, 30 meters, that's not bad. I don't know if I would actually use this in the water. I'm sure it's going to get wet if you're treating it like a field or military-style watch, but I don't know if I recommend that. But now let's dive into the overall dimensions and some specifications of this watch and see if it's a good fit for you. All right, so now coming in and let's measure this. It is, thickness-wise, got to get under that band there, but we're looking at right around 10 millimeters thick, which is quite thin. The website advertises it as 38 millimeters. But across, I'm seeing, we're not on the crown there. A little bit over 38, it probably wears somewhere between a 38 and a 39, which is nice. And then your bandwidth is looking at right around 20. So it's a fairly sizable, not sizable, but it's not small. When I first bought it, I was kind of hesitant because it looked very small to me in the photos. But 38 millimeters it's not bad at all. It's definitely nice and thick. You probably get a little bit of thickness added because of the NATO and how that sits on top of your skin. So let's actually measure the full package there. Yeah, so you're about 2 millimeters thicker with the NATO strap involved, but that's fine. And the fact that it comes with two other ones, it's really nice. I think it would look really cool on that, so I might swap it out. But let me show you now the lume and then put it on the wrist, and let's get some final impressions of this Smith & Wesson military watch. So the lume's not bad. You're looking at basically just the hour and minute hand, but it is fairly bright. It's a nice color. It's a very... Let me see off the camera. It's a fairly greenish color. It's not bad. It didn't take a lot of charging up. So I do think this lume actually, for what you're paying for with this watch, is fairly good for the price. I have watches that are more expensive that took way more charging to get them anywhere near as bright. And obviously I'm filming this in the daytime, as you can tell. So it's not pure darkness in here right now. But the lume is decent. So I'm pretty happy with that. And let me now throw this on the wrist. So here we are on the wrist. As you can see, it does wear nice and thin like I like it. It does stick out a little bit, because of the NATO style band. The strap is also a little bit tough. I do feel like it needs to be broken in a bit. It is canvas-like material, so it does have a little rigidness to it. I think over time, it will develop into a very comfortable, soft band, but I don't think it's there yet. The angle, how it breaks down, I think needs to be broken in a little also. That being said, the spring bars that it comes with are a little cheap feeling, so I don't want to focus on, bending them down too much at the moment. I'm going to let them just kind of do their thing over time. But it is a very nice looking watch. I don't hate it on the wrist at all. I also Coincidentally, I'm wearing green today, so it does kind of match. I think it's a cool little piece, and I had no idea Smith & Wesson made watches, but for the first impressions of wearing this for a little bit, I'm not hating it at all. I think it's a cool looking watch. Let's dive into some final impressions and take it from there. So final thoughts on the Smith & Wesson watch. I think it's cool. For $30, a nice quartz beater is always fun to have in your collection. The fact that it comes with 3 other straps, which I'll just put here in the frame just so you could see them, I think is a really nice touch. It's not your standard. I don't know if these are actually considered NATO straps. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. But they're very... Yeah, I guess they wouldn't be, because if the spring bars pop, it doesn't actually save the watch per se. It doesn't have like that double flap look. Correct me down below. But I do think for $30, and that price may fluctuate even further down because this is an Amazon purchase, I don't think you can go wrong with this watch. It is very cool. It's very simple. It doesn't come with a case or anything. It was just in this little box, so you're not going to store it and everything. You're not spending money on that either, so I guess the costs are put right in to this watch. But aside from that, it's a really nice piece. It's not super heavy. It's like 1.5 ounces, so it's like you don't really notice it's on the wrist. Some people like much heavier watches. I don't necessarily need that, but this is just a very... I don't want to say high quality, but it doesn't feel cheap and it looks nice. So if you're looking for something that you could just wear, beat around, have fun with, and it's of the military field style variety, I don't think you would hate this. So check it out, give it a try, let me know what you think. And are there any other brands like Smith & Wesson that are known for watches but make maybe cool watches? Let me know and let's take a look at those. Until next time, sorry it's been so long since I made a video, but I'll try to get more out soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you then.